10 News at 4 o'clock. ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
A fire erupts on a 50-foot boat off the coast of Carlsbad, and the Coast Guard is looking for anyone on board. What could complicate their search? Plus, a Lemon Grove pastor shot and killed by his own wife. Why the district attorney's office is not charging her with murder at this time.
And we're going to take you inside the local school that is preparing for mask-optional classrooms despite a rise in COVID-19 cases.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Exactly 1 month after California reopened, Los Angeles County is bringing back its mask mandate indoors regardless of vaccination status. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Lindsay Pena. That move comes amid an increase in COVID-19 cases and concerns over the highly contagious Delta variant. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo was joining us with a look at how local officials are reacting to this move. Laura.
Well, the key here is that the mask guidance in San Diego County is not changing. However, if you plan on going to Los Angeles and are going indoors, you will be required to wear a mask. Late this afternoon, we did get a statement from San Diego County officials where they tell us they will continue to follow the California Department of Public Health guidance on masking. They are also urging those who are unvaccinated to get vaccinated. Last week, local county officials announced that since January 1st, COVID-19 has primarily been spreading in San Diegans that are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, making up 99% of deaths and hospitalizations. Los Angeles County officials say they re-implemented the mask mandate because of an increase in cases of COVID-19. Now, the indoor mask mandate in Los Angeles County is set to go into effect Saturday night. But again, the key here is that right now, San Diego County officials say they will continue following the guidance from the state. Reporting live from Waterfront Park, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Laura. And here are the latest numbers on coronavirus in San Diego County. 428 new cases were reported today, and there were no new deaths.
My kids don't have to wear masks when they go to the stores anymore. Why do they have to wear masks when they go to school?
Tonight, an East County school district is preparing for mask-optional classrooms when their school year begins next month. As our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen found out, district leaders say they have protocols to ensure safety without a mask mandate.
Last school year, Carly Moret says one of her kids' biggest complaints was having to wear a mask in school.
And they want to breathe freely. They want to be with their friends and interact with their friends.
Come August, could her kids have the option to shed the mask? Recently, the state announced it will let local schools decide how to enforce a mask mandate. On Wednesday, the Alpine Union School Board, which oversees the pre-K to 8 district, met and voted.
The board decided last night that if, in fact, we do have discretion, that we would make them optional for our students to wear to school.
Rich Newman is the district's superintendent.
Our middle school last year, we offered vaccinations on campus, and we had a tremendous amount of our students that were vaccinated. The variables have changed in here, and our parents feel very strongly about not wearing masks.
Newman says he's confident a mask option won't endanger safety. Last year, Alpine Union was the first local school district to reopen for in-person learning in September. It was also the first to vaccinate staff. Newman says 99% of staff now vaccinated.
Local context is important. We had strong protocols.
Newman points to new hospital-grade ventilation systems in every school, electrostatic cleaning, and extensive contact tracing, which includes assigning bathrooms for each student. Newman says last year protocols led to 0 cases of spread within schools. Protocols included 3 feet of social distancing. This year,
it will not be a mandate, but if possible, we'll put spacing in there.
The other mandate one district is preparing not to enforce is the mask mandate. Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
And this afternoon, a spokesperson with the governor's office told us, quote, it's unequivocal. Local schools have the discretion on how it's enforced, but we do expect a mask mandate to be enforced. Emergency use authorization for the COVID-19 vaccine in children younger than 12 could come in the early to midwinter. That's according to the FDA. Pfizer and Moderna have said that their clinical trials will provide results potentially as early as October. Consideration by the FDA could take several weeks once the application is received, which means authorization could come around the end of the calendar year or early 2022.
There are renewed calls from the White House for people to get vaccinated as it continues to fight misinformation.
We are not out of the woods yet. Millions of Americans are still not protected against COVID-19, and we are seeing more infections among those who are unvaccinated.
To help beat vaccine hesitancy, the U.S. Surgeon General announced a plan to combat health misinformation, which he says is an urgent threat to American lives.
I talk to doctors and nurses across our country who are burning out as they care for more and more patients with COVID-19 who never got vaccinated, all too often because they were misled by misinformation.
As drug companies work on potential booster shots to protect against any future variants, the World Health Organization says there is a strong likelihood that new and possibly more dangerous variants may pop up around the world, and they could be even more challenging to control. Tonight's opening game of the Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees series has been postponed because of a COVID scare. According to the Yankees GM, 3 pitchers tested positive and 3 other tests are pending. Back in May, the Yankees dealt with a COVID outbreak that sidelined 9 members of the organization. And you can keep up with any developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
Well, firefighters are making progress on a 60-acre fire burning near the U.S.-Mexico border. The border fire is just 5% contained. It broke out around 2 o'clock this afternoon near the Tecate port of entry. One outbuilding was destroyed. You can see it there. An evacuation warning was issued for the nearby Tecate community, and a temporary evacuation point has now been set up at Potrero Elementary School. And now to a developing story tonight. The Coast Guard is looking for whoever was on a boat that caught fire today off the coast of Carlsbad. Our ABC 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky is joining us on this story. And Jeff, the owner lived on that boat.
Yes, Steve, he actually lived on his boat, which was docked in one of these slips right here behind me. Now, we've spoken with several friends here today who are holding out hope that anybody who was on board that boat might have been able to get out before that boat sank. Now, Sky 10 gave us a closer look earlier at what people were actually able to see right from the shore. Around 9:45 this morning, people from Encinitas and Carlsbad began reporting smoke rising into the air from that boat on fire. Lifeguards from multiple agencies raced out several miles offshore to begin fighting the flames. They're still not exactly sure who or how many people may have been on board at the time, or if they had to abandon ship were able to get out. We do know the boat is called the Relentless. Now, we are not naming the owner at this time, but neighbors here say he was a popular member of this community.
It's a sad thing that he's lost his boat, but the big thing is that hopefully they plucked him out of the water. That's everything right now.
And where the boat sank is about 1,800 feet deep at that spot of the ocean. The Coast Guard tells me that they will continue to search through the night as long as the conditions are safe. Live in Oceanside, Jeff Lasky, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Jeff. There are new developments surrounding the shooting death of a Lemon Grove pastor. Today, the district attorney's office said charges are not being filed at this time against the wife who claimed it was an accident. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is joining us with this ongoing investigation. Mimi.
Hi, Lindsay. A legal expert unrelated to this case tells us what's likely happening at this point is more evidence is being collected to determine if there was, in fact, an accidental shooting of the pastor of this church here, or if there was a motive behind the fatal shooting. We will remember Reverend Shepherd for the hope of the gospel message he not only preached but believed. Those are the words of the Pacific Coast Presbytery and the San Diego Reformed Presbyterian Church posted on social media after the death of 29-year-old Noah Shepherd, a local pastor. On Monday, sheriff's deputies say Shepherd was shot and killed in the backyard of his home on Camino de los Palmas in Lemon Grove. The medical examiner's office says he died of multiple gunshot wounds. His death was ruled a homicide. Sheriff's deputies say his wife, Gabriella Shepherd, told 911 dispatchers that she accidentally shot him. She was later arrested on suspicion of murder and booked into the Las Colinas detention facility. Thursday was her scheduled arraignment date, but that was canceled when the DA's office announced charges will not be filed at this time. They said the investigation is ongoing and they'll review the case as they get more information.
It's not uncommon for the police to say it looks to us like this may have been a murder, but we have to have the prosecutor make that determination.
Former District Attorney Paul Finks weighed in Thursday, saying while law enforcement will often arrest people based on probable cause that a crime was committed, prosecutors have to prove a crime was committed beyond a reasonable doubt.
It may be that what the district attorney is examining is whether there's evidence of a motive to kill, a motive that was set out ahead of time and expressed in emails, text messages, phone calls, or by other witnesses.
And Finks says it could take quite some time to collect all of that data. For now, the wife will be released without any charges. Of course, this is a developing story, so we'll keep you updated as we learn more. For now, we're live in Rolando. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. Today marks the official closure of that migrant shelter at the downtown convention center. For months, it housed thousands of unaccompanied migrant children. The children stayed there from about a week to a month, depending on their situation and how easily they could be reunited with family members.
This was their Ellis Island. This was their Statue of Liberty. This is where they came because they needed help, and San Diegans stepped forward.
Over 3,000 of those children are now back with their parents, legal guardians, or other family members. Less than 30 were placed in foster care because family couldn't be found. And today is the first child tax credit payments. They hit the bank accounts of more than 35 million U.S. households. As ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports, President Biden is touting the credit as a historic effort to fight child poverty and give working families a break.
In a significant escalation of federal aid to fight poverty, millions of Americans are now starting to receive expanded child tax credits.
Today, for families all over our country, for children all over our country, help is here.
The Biden administration is sending out $15 billion to an estimated 60 million children. Qualifying families will receive up to $250 monthly for every child between the ages of 6 and 17, and $300 a month for children under the age of 6.
It's historic, and it's our effort to make another giant step toward ending child poverty in America.
The changes to the child tax credit are part of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan passed in March. Not a single Republican in Congress voted for the bill. In addition to the payments going out monthly instead of as a lump sum, more families are now eligible to receive the credits. They'll be sent out automatically from the IRS by checks or direct deposit. Individuals earning up to $75,000 and couples making up to $150,000 are eligible for the full credit. Single mother of two Shivani Jones telling ABC News earlier this year the monthly credits will be a lifeline.
That would be a huge help for my household right now.
The expanded payments are temporary, set to expire at the end of the year.
This tax cut for working families is something we should extend, not end next year.
Now, the Treasury Department says these automatic payments will go to 88% of families with children nationwide, but it hasn't laid out a clear plan for how to reach those families whose incomes are so low that they don't usually pay taxes. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Speaking of taxes, one more thing to keep in mind. Because the enhanced credit is based on tax returns from 2019 and 20, individuals who are earning more money this year should be aware that if they are overpaid by the IRS, they will be on the hook for returning the money next April during tax season.
This summer horse racing season kicks off tomorrow at Del Mar. This year comes with some changes. In the past, the track averaged about 40,000 fans in attendance, but this year officials say only about 16,000 will be allowed for COVID safety reasons. ABC 10 News will have live coverage of opening day at the Del Mar races beginning at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow.